Next play we're going to look at here is cover 4 drop, and I like to call this the super max zone defense is what I'll call it. You can really call it whatever you want though, but before we get into that, I want you to, for this play specifically, we're going to go to our coaching adjustments. I want to have my zone drop flats on 25 yards, which is going to be your cloud flats, and I like to have my curl flats here on 5 yards, and I'm going to show you why we like to have that set up. So we're going to come out in a cover 4 drop, and we'll just have the offense run anything really. And what we're gonna do now, this is what your cover 4 drop looks like, and we're gonna turn this into an inverted cover 4, cover 2 type defense. So we're gonna press. I like to put my outside corners in cloud flats like this, so those are gonna be the guys that are playing on that 25-yard depth. So they're gonna be playing really back. They're gonna play a lot back. Now with the safeties, you can leave them in these cover 4 zones, but they will be vulnerable to the outside. So I like to put these guys in deep halves. Put them in deep halves just like that. And then what I'll do is take this guy or this guy, either one really, and put them in a deep middle third over the top like this. So now we have a cover 2, well, really a cover 3 shell, but we also have a cover 2 look mixed with a cover 4. So it's like the ultimate max zone defense. Now the one thing you are vulnerable to here is the middle of the field. So once again, like we broke down in all the other nickel 35 defenses, you need to have that elite speed, that elite COD rating here with your user. You need to have your user up to par because the middle will be a little open here. So I like to start with the low lurk, and I like to work my way back. So now we're going to have these guys here. They're going to cover any underneath stuff because they're set to 5 yards. So they're going to cover any of the drags, any of the quick slants, any of the inroads, hitches. That's what they're going to cover. Then we have our outside corners in the 25-yard depth. So they're going to cover any outside corner routes. They're going to cover any deep crossers, deep posts, things of that nature. And then we do have our shell over the top. So that's the setup for it. We'll go ahead and run it here. Like I said, we're going to lurk here to the middle. Once those drags, as you can see, kind of get crossed over into those quarter flats and curl flats, same thing really, as long as you have your zone depth sliders set. Let's go ahead and take a look at the replay, and you'll see the offense running a little mesh concept here. So as you can see here, the drag, we're initially running into the drag here in the middle of the field, if I can get this camera to work. So we're initially just lurking in the middle of the field. Make sure they're not throwing any quick passes. Once these drags start to run into these quarter flats here, I mean, you're in no man's land. They cannot throw that at all. Same thing back on this side. Once we see that he's going to start running into our quarter flat, we can leave him, and then he's not going to throw that with him waiting right there. So that's when we can back with our user and bite the middle. Now this middle third, it doesn't play the greatest. Like, it's not one of the best zones. We have it. You could probably do a middle read too if you wanted to. We have it there just in case of any deep posts over the middle, whether it be a bunch trail post or an S post, things of that nature. And it's going to guard over the middle of the field. So we're taking our user and kind of running back there halfway to meet him. And this is all this area in here is our duty to slow any of these routes down in the middle. But that's primarily there to guard any deep posts. And that's just an ultimate zone coverage. We're going to have the sidelines and over the top coverage. So it's just our duty to cover that middle ground.